Hello, party people. This is Andrew Stortz, and welcome to episode 29 Extended. This is part 2 of this week's Lyle Tuttle interview, The Lost Tapes. Now, if you missed the first part of this, go back and listen to that and then come back here. But what's going on is that you're about to hear a 15-year-old interview of the late, great Lyle Tuttle that was conducted by friend of the show, Taki Kitamura. He had these cassette tapes lying on his shelf for many years, 15 years, and now we all get to enjoy them. And I don't want to make you wait much longer, but before we start, this extended episode is brought to you by Go Reminders. Tattooers or really anyone that works by appointment, you know how frustrating it can be when your customer just doesn't show up, especially when you've drawn for them or done any sort of preparation. Some people just forget, or it seems like they don't think you'll notice, and they just float off into the universe, never to be heard from again. Would you like to eliminate no-shows while saving time and increasing revenue? Go Reminders sends automatic appointment reminders via text message and email. With one saved appointment per month, Go Reminders more than pays for itself. So think about this. You put somebody's appointment into Go Reminders, and you don't have to think about it again. It's just like keeping your normal schedule. But then as their appointment approaches, they'll get a text message reminding them, hey, you've got an appointment coming up. And sometimes, if they're going to flake on you, that might be the push that they need to let you know not to expect them. Or, if they truly forgot, now they're reminded. And you don't have to do anything except put it into the calendar. So this really is an awesome tool. Automation. The robots are taking our jobs, but in this case, the robots are helping our jobs. It's super easy to get started. It's just a 10-second setup and completely free to try for 2 weeks. So give it a try with absolutely no risk, and you don't even have to put in your credit card info. So this is truly zero risk for 2 weeks. And to sweeten the deal for all of you fantastic listeners of the extended episodes, head over to goreminders.com/booksclosed and get 10% off. Do yourself a favor. Let Go Reminders do all the work of keeping tabs on those slippery little clients. Once more, that's goreminders.com/booksclosed for 10% discount. And without further ado, here's part 2 of Lyle Tuttle, The Lost Tapes.
So we're just talking crazy now. But everything's funny. You got to see some humor in everything. I mean, I was getting my hair cut today, and I was reading this book about what do you know about geography. Or you don't know anything about geography. I think it's a pretty complex book. Anyhow, I started going with it. Curmudgeon, isn't that a person that curmudgeon. I'm a curmudgeon too, I guess. But my memory is really getting lax. I would have had that 2 weeks ago in an instant. A hater of the human race is a word. It means hating the human race. You hate the human race. I hate what they do. I know I'm not individuals, right, but the species we belong to sucks. And as from day one. Oh, yeah. That's the fucking weird shit that they've done. But I can't think of that word. It's not important, I guess. One of these days, that whole readout screen will go blank. And then you're going to find out how little and insignificant you were. I think the night my dog got ran over, I found that out. Because I knew what was happening. There was a trajectory going. I knew there was, and I couldn't do anything about it. And that's when you realize how goddamn little fucking insignificant powerless you are. And how unimportant everything else is. Yeah. But I love that dog. It's an English Bull Terrier.
Oh, yeah. I grew up with I had a Sheltie growing up.
And his name was Chadwick. And, he was like the Spuds McKenzie dog. If you're ever in my tattoo shop down in San Francisco, I think maybe they did some stuff to my tattoo shop that I don't like going back to places I've been before.
Mm.
Like driving by an old house for a little.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
that. You know, it's that nostalgia. It just makes you feel bad. I was on the Queen Mary, and I went by Bert Grimm's old shop, and it looks like sand dunes is coming across the buildings, and the only thing that's left out of the sand that's run down is just the two plate glass windows in the corner. No signs, no nothing. And it put me on a bummer.
Yeah.
Put me on a flat bummer. So then I was going to go buy my Hollywood tattoo shop that was up at 8418 Sunset Boulevard, you know, and it wound up that I can only stand one fucking heartbreak a day.
Right.
I keep it limited to one a day. And then it having so much stuff in there, and then file. Well, here's Jet. Here's that book. Here. I tattooed a heart with mother on the inside of his leg, and in this picture was an Rolling Stone magazine. You can look back in it. See it right here.
Oh yeah. How do you sit for that?
He was knocked out cold as hell. Yeah, the fucking doctor about OD'd my dog. I used to give him shit about that all the time. What happened was he was a full-blown doctor, but he worked up as a researcher, and it wasn't making that much money, so he worked riding the ambulances there in San Francisco. And they stopped by. They didn't have cell phones in those days, but like two-way radios that were pretty good, pretty small. They'd get a call, they could run right downstairs, hit the ambulance, but he always brought his ditty bag up because people would break into ambulances trying to get dope out of the doctor's bag. So he's up there one night and we're talking about it, and a tattoo, and I said, I want to get him knocked out. And then John says, well, I'll knock him out for you. So he gets, he doesn't know doodly about animals. You give animals drugs by their weight. People were all sort of about the same size, you know. He about OD'd my dog. That dog was goofy for a month. Of course, having a bull terrier is like having your own mentally retarded kid in. Holy king, Yokohama. Oh, this must have been when Owada was tattooing me. This is when it was over there. I was over there doing a TV show, and then they made that movie called Signatures of the Soul.
Okay.
You seen that?
Mm-hmm.
It was put out. Australian people put it out.
Okay.
Anyhow, they interviewed Leo Zulueta down in Los Angeles, and they come up to San Francisco and interviewed me in a museum. They're going to Japan. I'm going to Japan too, so we met up over there. And they filmed me on the TV show, except it was during rehearsals. They got the announcer, Toko now, Goomba, Wild Tunnel, San Francisco, And I come out with this black robe on that's got tattoo and gold letters down the front of it, flash it, and then walk right out in the audience. And I have no idea what year that was. It was back in the 70s, undoubtedly. Well, here. Right there. So he's doing, look at that arm. Oh, that's Horiyoshi II, I believe. And here it is right here. Hori King Yokohama.
Okay, yeah.
But he didn't. That Hori didn't stick with him that well. He was just Mitsuo,
Right.
But, and that's the littlest tiny room. And I offered that day, and I would have done it gladly. It was impromptu. It wasn't happening, but he couldn't rehearse it or anything else. But they was setting up, and they was talking about it, and I says, well, just give me the apparatus. I'll whack a finger off on camera for you. And they froze at the fucking switch. I mean, they should have took me up on it. I mean, God, what an added to their film. Later, he sort of brought it up, and I said, "Now you wouldn't missed your chance." I said, "I would have done it." And with, you'd be real brave in public. If you in the back room have to do that, it'd be a different story. I had that thing, a big piercing needle, run into that cyst on my thumb.
Oh.
I got it smashed, and then a cyst formed on it, and that thing was like up there. And so it run a number 8 piercing needle in it. And they got enough pus out of it, just about one of those Steelies. Oh, that thing is a mess. Let's see, I'm just looking, I wanted to show you my tattoo shop down in, but, it's the idea of, nowadays, filing. Because if you got a bunch of junk, it's hard to sort it out. I better get off of this because we're not talking. I'm just...
That's all right.
Okay.
We're getting cool little tidbits here and there.
All right.
I mean, later I'm gonna go through there's certain the tattoo motifs. I'm gonna add, I have a list of things I'm gonna ask you about.
Today?
Yeah, but right now, I'm just sort of.
Okay.
I mean, you tell me if you're on a time, if you need to.
Oh, I'm not. He'll be coming back after a while. But I told him, I don't know what time he got here, but we're not on it. And then you're welcome to stay around when he's here. We can just extend it too, but at least you got some private time.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that.
Well,
I just want, because I like to get a good, because what I'll do is I'm gonna use, I'll transcribe the whole interview, so I'll have all that written out. And then we'll pull bits and pieces out of it.
I know, actually, in thinking about that, I know relatively little about it. I mean, there's the pig and the chicken, and then the whole type and all that stuff.
Well, what I'll do is...
But, they're calling these 5-pointed stars nowadays compass stars. A compass star's got, God damn it, I've never heard of north, south, east, west, and oogly. Huh?
Well, but that's the funny thing. That's where this whole project came about. It's because you get people calling them the swallows or bluebirds. People are calling them the Sugar Ray bird, because there's some rock star in a band called Sugar Ray has them tattooed.
Oh, I see.
And that's what I'm saying, because there's there's a certain era, Doc Forrest when I interviewed him, so that it used to be sailors and we had our own language with these tattoos. This was for this was signified this commemoration.
Yeah, if you wore and then if you had it in your left ear, you was one thing, and if you had it in the right ear, you was another thing. Yeah. That's a communication, but I thought it was in here, but well, anyhow, in 1982, when that Queen Mary happened down here, I don't know where it's at all. It's my tattoo shop I worked in Long Beach was 5 foot by 7 foot deep, and it had its own private street entrance. And so I got a picture of that tattoo shop. I'm not standing in front of it, but upon the sign it says Lyle. And then a picture of a cyclone fence, and the building is gone, and you can see the linoleum on the side in the cement, and then you can see where the rail was and everything else. And so it was interesting, those two pictures together. But I don't know where they're at now. This is the first thing I did on the computer.
Okay.
Take that with you. And then here's that historic and patriotic tattoos. Take that with you too.
Thank you. What I mean, so as far as we've talked about here and there changes, but as the clientele goes, because I talked to a lot of people, it used to be mostly sailors, and how's that changed over the years?
Well, generally when you tattoo a woman back, when I started tattooing, and for the first, let's say 20 years, they were generally brought in by a guy. But it was always funny when you wound up tattooing them, they'd look at the guy and say, "What are you talking about?" He'd got her name tattooed on his arm and went home and said, "Oh, look what I did for you, baby. You got hurt like a bastard."
Yeah.
She got tattooed. There's more guys pass out than there are women.
Right.
They're more nervous getting into the chair, but the minute they are confronted with what it is and experience it, then they, oh, is that all there is, you know? But I've had guys standing outside the rail and pass out. You probably have too.
Yeah. Trying to put stencil on, I had a guy. You know, like a fucking.
Well, I'm just talking about somebody just somebody.
Even just being there.
Oh God, we're not going to get back in that computer yet. Well, my buddy that I spent the weekend with and used to Sailor Sid. I used to use a picture of him, and I found that bastard. I got to show you that. It's if I can find it. Sometimes I go through the goddamn rigors of hell with this. I'm finding stuff in a slideshow. If I have like an open slideshow, I mean, I got it in the computer. I know, and it's like my warehouse up there. You can't find nothing. You spend your whole life. Anyhow, it's a picture of Sailor Sid, and he's got flames coming out of the crack of his ass, and then down below he's got a whole bunch of, I don't know what the hell you call all them piercings, but he's got on his scrotum. He's got they look like those things you in a collar that you put your neck that goes under your necktie.
Oh,
barbells.
Yeah.
He's got those running through his nutsack, his scrotum, and then he's got these rings. It looks like a girl, one of those women from Laos or somewhere with the stretched out necks upside down, because that's his balls.
Yeah.
So I had a picture of that, and I would, if they was nervous about getting tattooed, I'd just make them look at the back of that picture until I got ready, and then I'd tell them, just as I started tattooing them, turn it over. And they were so goddamn busy gaping at that picture that they... And I always got them into it quick, too. I would make the longest line that I could, the first rattle out of the box.
Right.
And then tell somebody, nothing worse than that's going to happen to me. And they go, am I glad? Am I glad?
Yeah, guys, that's the same shit. Oh, yeah, can you just try it on me?
I know. You know. See, I never worked by appointments. And, Sailor Sid, you got to be in here, Sailor Sid. This is Spiderweb. He's seen no evil. I speak no evil. And Huck is hear no evil. And the first one we did of that was Spider and I did that with Cliff Raven. I haven't scanned it in yet, but we was playing the hear no, see no evil. That Sailor Sid was important. The picture was an important part of my life because I used to use it all the time. Because it really made people gape, you know.
Yeah. Is that the one that was in Modern Primitives? Where he's kind of just like standing there.
Sid?
Yeah.
No, this was the backside of it. His ass was here, and then his balls was here. I always wanted to get it blown up. Like 11 by 17, have it hanging in a business office, and have it hanging in back of my chair so when I'm talking business to people, they would have to be looking past me and looking at this bitch, because it, you know, stuff like that unhinges people. That was 1971 at the Stonehenge, but just look at the half, you know. That was taken on the longest day of the year, too, the longest day of the year. What a freak that was. There's druids out there, and there's other people some kids out there about 14 or something, and he was all dressed up, he had some kind of a thing he was holding, and then he had like a veil, or not a veil, a train. But there was a couple of people walking behind holding it out of the dirt, and he's walking along with a tool and all that. But you know, people's always looking for magic. That's the reason that tattoos sell well and will always sell well, because we're the closest fucking thing that they're going to get for a witch doctor in their whole goddamn worthless lives.
That's the quote you said all day. I'm lifting that one up.
Well,
but it's true though.
It is true.
The thing though, you know.
That's the reason you get that adoration from them.
Right.
From your customers. I mean, there's 3 tattoo shops in this town now. I mean, I wouldn't be attracted to it today. I mean, I think I went over that. twice today. Once with you, once with Trace. But, it is the truth, and it's just, you got to keep the mystery in it. And having suppliers' catalogs in your goddamn waiting room is not keeping the mystery in it. People ask me why I mix my tattoo ink with my total concentrated ant piss. And I never would let a Huck's machine be running in my shop, and Huck and I are good friends, but goddamn it, if a customer is over the inside rail and says, "What is that, a Spalding Supreme?" I would get up and fucking hit him, and then hit the son of a bitch that was using the machine. So I just stay away from aggravation, which should be one of your constant goals in life. Just don't let them work schmuck small things, Supremes at your shop, because they're on the back of all the magazines, or was. I don't know what it is. Can't put that on tape because one of the editors might hear that. And you have to be media friendly. Right. I think I learned that early on, but back in the 60s, this guy came in and did an article. I mean, this is unheard of. Mm-hmm. But this was during the New York thing that was going off, and I was telling you about that, how it trickled down. Mm-hmm. I said that I liked fast cars, fast women, and tattoos. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I said it in that exact context. But that's the way it wound up to be. So you have to be careful what you say. If you don't want to say it in print. This guy that worked for me one time, he went out and got posed for a picture, and he was posing. I do this jewelry design. Mm-hmm. So that's the latest thing I've done. But anyhow, it wound up that he was in this, went down to get the picture taken in the goddamn thing, and the guys worked all day, him and his little helpers, right. to put this pink swing up in their studio, and they wanted me to swing that fucking thing in the nude. And I said, sorry. I mean, I'm media friendly, but I'm not that media friendly.
As he's using the pink lighter.
Yeah.
There's a theme running here.
I'll smoke my weed with a pink lighter. Carry a pink lighter. Very few people will steal them.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Boy.
Willie leaves a label on a friend of mine, and he pulls the label up and writes "fuck you" on the back of the sticker. And then if somebody says, "That's my lighter," and he pulls the sticker back and says "fuck you."
We were at the airport once. We were going to Detroit convention. And for some Freddie Corbin had like 4 lighters. He's just like, you guys take some of these so they don't think I'm a terrorist or something. Why the fuck you got 4 lighters? Because you're taking everyone's lighters.
He doesn't smoke cigarettes, but he'll come back with a pocket full of lighters, which is...
Tattoo conventions? Yeah. I'm sure it drew as high as 6 in my pocket.
I got told coming back from Japan the last time that I had like 3 lighters, because things were printed on them. Mm-hmm. They're like, we have to empty these. If you want to take them, we have to empty the food.
Oh,
you can only have 1. Yeah, because I'm going to blow up the plane. It's a big bomb.
I had my Pulitzer Prize winning design all made up on the, you had 9/11, so this was 9/12, because on 9/12 there was a tattoo convention. It started on a Thursday.
In Denver.
And drove to Denver. And so thinking driving, doing a little, stay awake and everything. You didn't see that. Of doing a slingshot, and it'd be like a religious icon you'd be wearing around. And it would be, you only need about that much far apart, not wide forks. Short forks, short arms, and come down in a longer handle and wear it around here, and then it's rubber. And in the pocket that holds the missile, and then you shoot some that aggregate that's non-metallic. Carry a couple of them in your pocket. You know, worst comes to worst, you always have a testicle taken out and you carry it, you know, with a missile in its place. If you're dedicated.
Right.
Real dedicated.
And so you just wear that. And it's all non-metallic, so they're not going to pick it up. If they get it, you know, you can say that it's, and people will believe in anything. So, but I just, and then no wind in you're like riding in a vacuum in an airplane. God, boy, you could sure be able to get a terrorist with that son of a bitch. But then I started thinking, you know, the plane would make a bump and I'd fucking hit the flight attendant and he was holding a knife to her throat right between the eyes, and then I would be in deep shit. I'd have to join the terrorists just to get out of there alive, for Christ's sake.
You'd be doing 25 to life.
So I jettisoned that goddamn idea, because you don't want to be setting yourself up for dumb shit.
Yeah.
But I would walk a mile to smoke a camel. Personally. It just worried me. And that religion is, I'm an atheist, but that religion is set up to, I mean, all religions are corrupt, evil. You know, somebody said, God, you're jaded? Not jaded. Yeah, I was jaded in a way, but of being, and I, you know, I know, it's experience.
Well, I don't know, I've been told I'm pessimistic, and it's like, I'm realistic. You know, I just call it like I see it, you know?
That's it.
You know, you show me otherwise, hey, I'll take it back, but, you know.
Well, this guy had two pessimistic sons. Or he had two sons, and one was an optimist and one was a pessimist. And Christmas time rolled around, a pessimist's room, he filled up with toys, all kind of mechanical toys. The door opened, the kid got knocked down by him, he got up, he picked this up, he says, the batteries will go dead on this is cheap Japanese stuff, you know, or Chinese now, you've got to tell the joke contemporarily.
Right.
And
it changes all the time.
Exactly. And you got to watch yourself, you know. And then, so the father took the optimistic kid down. He opens the door up in this wall of fucking manure shit. Just fucking all over you. Little hands come out of the shit. He gets up and goes, oh, he says, under all of that horse shit, there's got to be a pony. So if you can just keep that.
Just keep the right attitude.
It is the right attitude. And you can say anything to anybody as long as you're smiling.
Yeah.
And that's is really the truth.
Yeah. Well, let me go through some of these things and.
Oh, you got them written down?
Yeah.
All right.
And if you can just, you know, like, I mean, maybe we'll start with the pig and the rooster, and just, you know, you tell me anything you know about it, like any history, meaning, whatever, you know, any stories.
Okay.
You know, and if there's someone where you're like, whatever, you know, pass, you can pass. I'll just run through the list.
But because there's some that I don't know, and then some that I could have found out a hell of a lot more about if I hadn't been so busy making a buck or trying to get laid or something.
Hey, gotta do the important stuff first.
Yeah, right. You know,
you gotta balance it all. You know? I mean, why do we write these books anyways, right? You know, we care. No. But so we'll start with how about the pig and the rooster there.
Well, I've always heard that the old sailors had the pig and the rooster on their feet because, of course, tradition. You know, things get built into a tradition. In Samoa, if you asked somebody, and I asked this question more than once to a Samoan, young Samoan's out and he's like the airport master, and we're waiting to catch a plane out, a 6-place airplane to go over to another island. I says, what do you have this for? And he said, old Samoan tradition. They don't give a shit about getting that thing. It is torture. If you want to be anybody, the ones that don't get, God, we're off on Samoa.
All right, that's right. We'll get back. We'll come around. You have a good way of taking these detours, but you somehow end up back where I started you.
If I remember where we started.
No, you've been doing it all day. Like, exactly. No, so I'm along for the ride.
Well, anyhow, if you want to be anybody in the Samoan village, and you're going to stay there and be a part of the village and of some Samoan life, Fa'a Samoa, which means old Samoa, then you get the tattoo. Because you can't even go in the chief's chambers to mix kava for them.
Wow.
You're just, and if they're out on going, which they don't do nowadays, I'm sure, but when they was going cross country and they had all the men of the village, they're probably going to go and kick the ass of the next village.
Right.
They're in transit, and if one of the chiefs wants a coconut to drink the milk, they sent an untattooed one up the tree. So you had a place in the community.
Right.
If you were going to go work at a bank in town, it wasn't even important. So go, they might hold you back anything. So, it was traditional that they got it, and the reason I understand that they got it is a pig or a rooster will not drown. Because the pig was short legs and the rooster was spurs in his throat, they'll both cut their fucking throat and bleed to death before they drown. Now that's what I know about the pig and the rooster. Now, Tanya, the girl that bought my tattoo shop, come up here the day, what she got at the rooster that you would have tattooed on your foot here on her hand. I says, when are you getting the pig? And she says, what pig? And so I told her about it. Now she's going to go down and get a gun. She goes, I like pigs. So now she's going down to get a pig tattoo. So she's got a pig and a rooster on her hands with other things.
Right.
So
just set it straight there.
So I took her out to breakfast the other morning. We went to sort of a little kush quasi-religious restaurant down here. And I took her in and she was going to put because she knows I don't like to go out around town here. But I'm sort of changed that. I'm getting to the point I don't give a shit anymore. But at one time, it's a nice little town. Just leave them alone. Don't be out shocking them. So that's the reason I would never open a tattoo shop up here. I mean, there's 3 of them already. So what I want to open one. But I mean, before there was a tattoo shop, because it's a nice little town that just don't deserve a tattoo shop. The police don't need any help up here. they got the number on you already. So that's all I know about that pig and chicken.
What about Dead Man's Hand?
Well, that's if everybody that knows anything about tattooing or don't know anything about tattooing knows about that one, because that was the hand, aces and eights, that Wild Bill Hickok was holding when he was shot in the back by some guy named some Irishman. His in aces and eights, I think he was holding 3 aces and 2 eights, or vice versa. Yeah, I've tattooed that on so many times. So that aces and eights, tattooing, it's got a good tattoo design has, like, it's a double whammy. It's like, somebody asked me why, I got 2 eagles fighting on my back, and somebody asked me why is masculine tattoos depict violence, and I said generally because it's a masculine art form, and so fighting is a masculine thing. Right. You don't nowadays you do. I mean, God, I wake up at some of these tattoo conventions with some gal, and she's got her arm laid across me, and I wake up and I'm fucking looking at it, it's all sleeved out. I think, God, did I get drunk, go to bed with a truck driver or something? I mean, God, damn, my time slot was so perfect, because when women started getting tattooed, it was, Jack Rudy at my roast said, how many butterflies and rosebuds can one guy put on? Well, I put a bunch of them on, but it was ideal, but now they're getting all sleeved out. I used to tell gals, counsel them, I never would try to talk you out of a tattoo, because if I felt that it wasn't right for you, I'd just say, no, it's against the law or something. You know, and some tattoos aren't made for some people.
Right.
And you got some pretty little girl, she wants to get some dumb shit 30 years ago on her lower arm. I just turned that down. No, there's a law against that.
Right. At least not have it on your conscience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't even know if there was conscience involved. I just wasn't that fucking hungry. If I had funny business, I could just say next. And if I'd been hungry, now I don't know how it would have been. You know, because principle's on a sliding scale.
Right.
It depends on the time. But, you know, it's just... But that's the dead man hand. So it's a fatalistic thing in a way. And it's like those guys running in, getting that, wanting to get that Born and Raised Hell, that Speck had tattooed on with a devil. I mean, how do you explain that?
Right.
It's...
Well, actually, but when you mentioned the fighting, actually, that's a good segue, because the Battle Royale.
The Battle Royale.
Yeah, like that's actually another one on my list here.
What's the fox hunt?
Sorry?
The fox hunt.
Actually, I'm not familiar with the fox hunt.
Oh, I got a picture of it. I'll show you up in the shop out there. We go out in my little sorting room, which I'm turning into sort of a museum, I guess. It's what do they call it? A bunch of hounds, and it's a fox hunt, and a fox's tail sticking out of the guy's ass.
Oh, okay, okay.
And you don't have that on there. If you don't have a list.
No, I'm not, that's...
The fox hunt.
Yeah.
Now, over in Japan, when I was tattooed, see, I tattooed before I went into service. Then I went over to service and played Marine over in Korea. And so I tattooed over there, and I tattooed in Japan, in Yokosuka, but it was like at a sailor shop. But I was over there for so long, I started talking pidgin English, for Christ's sakes, you know, because it could really rattle Japanese off well. But if you don't use it, it goes by the wayside. Cuss words, or a word that you should not know or have into a conversation. Ring B.O. You know what that is? That's gonorrhea. Got into my vocabulary somehow, and I would be... I'm sort of like really obliterated it, but you'd be in a conversation and you're looking for that word, and you're quick in the draw, you'll come out with a word that it isn't the word you're looking for, and ring B.O. was a bad one. I've dumped that into a couple of conversations. But now things that were like bad words when I was over there early 1950s, was one of them was Gofujawa. Was a toilet, a bathroom. Benjo was like saying shithouse or crapper. So, two little Japanese ladies with all their traditional outfits, looked like little porcelain dolls, was talking to the bellman, and I have got a panic piss going, and I'm behind this palm tree sort of away, and I said to him, "Go Fujiwa no Budiska," and he turned around and he heard me. He looked at me like, "Are you an idiot?" He did not understand that word, and I says, "Go Fujiwa." And he went, and one of the little porcelain dolls said, "Benjawa." So Benjawa is acceptable now, but before it wasn't.
Right.
And I know we used to, in the Sergeant's Club, we have Japanese girlfriends down there, you know, at the Sergeant's Club, and I don't know, Wednesday night or something, they played bingo. So if we got bingo, we'd holler Benjo. And they'd say, "Oh, Benjo, bingo." Because this was like 5-6 years after the war, so I mean, like, English is really sparing over there.
Right.
And then accents, you know, like I couldn't say L's.
Right.
You know, and there's some people stumble over L's now, but.
No, it's still like that. You know, they're still like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they say, you know, what's your name? You know, I say Lyle Tuttle, and they go,
Lyle Tuttle.
Lyle Tuttle. Taro. Hi. Momo Taro. Yeah, you know. So, guess what? I got tattooed on my arm someplace. Momotaro. And that's my name in Chinese, Japanese, katakana, and Korean.
To the tour.
And then, right. And then this right here that's actually for a name of a town in Korea. Look at this, 4 houses in the world. If you're getting drunk in Yokohama tattoos, you get things that's important to you.
Yes.
Okay. So, I think that Puping is Chinese and Tamihei is Japanese, and then Bupyeong is Korean for the same kanjis.
Oh, okay.
Which means rich flat. So their language is not too much different than ours,
right.
Because what the hell, we've got rich flats, we got gold flats, we got, so flat is like a level spot in the mountains or something. So, but the Spanish would take a shit and name it after a saint.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Everything's named after it. Yeah. Well, all of California is like that.
I know.
That's
what I know about Ukiah is.
What's you?
It's Indian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we had a chief, Calpella 6 miles north of here. We had a Chief Calpella who was murdered by his tribe. I don't know the story behind it because I wasn't here. But
let's go to how about Man's Ruin?
I think Man's Ruin. It just falls in the same department as Dead Man's Hand. I mean, all men are enamored with women, and so you've got I did a piece of jewelry one time, and the fucking thing blew when it was cast, and I never went back and did it again. Back to that business, you don't like to go back to houses.
Right.
It's a pain in the ass to redo something. It's easier generally. So you got a horse, betting on the horses. You got dice. You got an opium pipe, a booze bottle, and a woman's leg. That's Man's Ruin. So it's the same thing. It's sort of a fatalistic view of like it's the same thing. You're going to run to it on your list here. Born to Lose.
Right.
Same thing. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's a fatalistic thing. But they're truisms. They're totally truisms, and so maybe that's it. You know, because a tattoo is no more than a decoration on the skin that depicts internal feelings with external designs.
That's good.
It's a fucking signboard. You are a signboard. So Born to Lose, and a lot of people, they get locked into that philosophy. Some soldier came in one time and he had fucking dumb assholes. I mean, the army is the rocket scientists.
Right.
This was back, like draft east and all that stuff. He had Born Too Loose on his arm. I mean, fucking Born Too Loose, and I commented on it, and he went, what? He had never noticed it. All of his buddies in the fucking barracks had never noticed it. Nobody had noticed it. This dumb tattoo artist in Frisco pointed it out, and it ruined his whole life. He wound up having it covered up.
Right.
But I wound up getting some business out of it. That worked out well.
Yeah. How about Rock of Ages?
Same. Yeah, it's a dumb shit premise.
Yeah.
There's another explanation for it though, but it would be more of a crucifix on your back, is because back in the age of like before the age of quote unquote enlightenment that we have today, at least they don't have the Inquisition and shit going on. Was if you're being punished on a ship and you're all tied up and a fucking guy back there has got a set of cat of nine tails and he's got to fillet your ass,
right?
But you got a picture of the Savior, the big boogaboo in the sky, That's all this shit emulates around. They got people home, they're fucking disjointing them and stuff with the Inquisition. You're going to sort of lay up on that cat of nine tails. So it's sort of a defense mechanism. That's what I would put it at. But then if you're Ed Hardy, now he got hooked on that in some other direction because he has an affinity for. Well, it was a design motif for him, and I'm sure that's exactly what it is. And it's a reoccurring design motif. That's one of the reasons, like, I do skulls. It's a reoccurring design motif, and there's a lot of, well, there's more people interested in skulls than there is in Rock of Ages. So we made a good trade-off there. But he did a book on it.
Yeah, I have that.
And a nice little book, because it's got a bookmarker.
Yeah. No,
it's got it anymore.
The book has style.
It does. What, attention to detail.
Yeah, exactly. How about Pharaoh's horses?
Pharaoh's horses. I think, the artist's name was Pharaoh. I don't think it's Pharaoh's horses.
Okay, because I'd always just heard Pharaoh's horses. Okay.
Like the pharaohs. I mean, like the from Egypt.
Okay.
No, I believe, and check this, and if I am wrong blatantly, tell me if you would, please, because you're doing the research.
Yeah.
But I believe the artist's name was Pharaoh.
Okay.
Pharaoh's horses.
Okay.
Well, back I don't think there's too many Pharaoh's horses put on today.
Right.
But back when they were being put on, the tattoo artist called the tune in the shop. It was his fucking orchestra. And he picked the sheet music. And that sheet music was the flash that was on the walls. And they're easy designs to put on. They fill a lot of space up. So why wouldn't they be popular? On both directions.
Yeah.
Because you got to sit there and take this shit.
Yeah.
You got to get it as a customer. And after a while, you start getting sort of streetwise on picking out tattoos, because there's some of them. I mean, nowadays, it's just blatant fucking masochism.
That's funny, because I love hearing this, because I get a lot of people like, oh, all this Oriental stuff, this Japanese stuff, it's got these deep meanings and blah blah, and it's got to be mystical because it's from Japan, and it's like half the time it's like some tattooer in Japan is like, hey, that looks neat, or shit, I can freehand this dragon better than I can this, and it's the same shit. I mean, they're not keeping that human side in mind, that like, look, there's some guy designing this shit, and he's doing it for a reason,
I see Nakano do a freehand. Only see one other thing done, sort of like that. There's a Chinese monk. Or, I don't think it was a Japanese monk. Chinese monk that sort of knew all and see all, and he took a trip to the East and come back with his story about. Supposedly, or probably, he made the Americas, and then was down into Mexico because they do have evidence supposedly of where they can date like north, south, east, and west in some Indian language, and Central America is the same thing as north, south, east, and west in Chinese in a certain dialect. And there was a pottery boon that they carbon dated about the same date and everything else, and showed the influence. Well, it was a monk that made those travels. Well, Nakano did that on a guy's leg, but he just did it like he'd do a painting. And I'm sure he'd done it 500 times before. I mean, he fucking astounded me that day when he did it. And then there's a guy named the Chinaman who tattoos in Moscow, a Russian. And he does have some Asiatic blood in him. He's just really light, but he's got almond-shaped eyes. I mean, just slit eyes. But there's different almond-shaped eyes. I mean, you're round on top, and then there's some that are just look like they've just been cut with a fingernail. Well, his is more that way. And so hence the name of the Chinaman. Well, they use a toothbrush over there, the early ones. And he'd sit there and was just daubing on this guy's arm, and then all of a sudden, St. Basil started appearing out of the fucking thing. And that's really a complicated church to draw because it's got those spirals. He wound up with St. Basil's, but Jesus Christ, I thought he was going to wind up with a mess.
Right.
You know? Next one.
All right. Actually, Mr. Lucky.
Well, you know you're fucking born to lose, but you're going to try to bullshit everybody else. And I'm sure that's, I mean, you know, because tattooing can be used in an unconscious, well, there's the conscious and the unconscious, and the conscious with Mr. Lucky, I'm sure, is consciously thinking he's Mr. Lucky. He's probably should be getting born to lose tattooed on him, but it's, how about a heart with mom?
Right.
I mean, so at least the guy's trying. Give him an A.
Okay, right. Well, how about to the, like, actually two things. One, because I've seen, like Mike Malone has that Mr. Lucky design with the top hat and the monocle. And
That's just the commercial.
That just kind of came out.
Commercial logo, I'm sure. I don't think, because, you know, Mike Malone knows he isn't born to Mr. Lucky.
Well, what about the mom part? That's
mother?
Yeah, when did that?
Well, everybody's got one.
Yeah.
And most everybody reveres your mother. I mean, you try to emulate your father, but you revere your mother.
Right.
Or in a male.
Yeah. And I think that reflects how you're saying it was all guys getting tattooed then.
Yeah. So it was that way.
Yeah.
And then the word more starts off in like Iceland and goes all the way across Europe and off into some of your, you know, Scandinavian countries. It's in Asia. So that word M-O-R, oh wait a minute, M-O-R is like, that's death. That goes all the way across there too. Mom.
Yeah.
The English say M-U-M.
Right.
But it does start way off in Iceland, and it's the same way with more. Because when I was researching with my jewelry line, I originally called it sculpture, and I got a nice letter from a woman who has sculpture copyrighted. But she's like, she builds skulls up to they can identify victims.
Right.
Who I got to meet the guy. Did you see Gorky Park?
No.
Gorky Park was a movie about they found in Gorky Park, they found 3 bodies. Their fingers had been cut off here, first knuckle, for fingerprints, and had their skin on their faces removed. So they couldn't identify them. And they took them to a guy whose name in real life is Yuri Dubiagin. But he wasn't in the movie, but the person that played this part in the movie was patterned after him. And he sent for me to show me his museum at the KGB and the militia museums. Because they're, one's outside of the country, secret police, and the other one's inside the country, secret police. But we call it I just said the word a minute ago, not KGB, the other one, the militia. They're more out front. KVG is really a ghost organization.
Right.
But it was nice to get into the bowels of that.
Praying hands.
Praying hands I equate to jailhouse. And it's a jailhouse design, and it's pathetic. I mean, there's more people, I'm sure, become born-again Christians in jail than anywhere else in the world. It's a goddamn terrible time in your life and everything else, and so it's an appropriate design, but to an outsider, and a real outsider, one on the outside looking in, it's morbid. It's terrible. I went down to San Jose and testified in a dual murder case of a guy who actually had one of my tattoos on his arm. He had 3 stars here, or not 3 stars, 3 teardrops. He had prison walls, he had praying hands, and FTW, all of the trappings. And So my job was for the defense to go in and this son of a bitch had never been in prison before. Some street tattooer had done that, at his request, because he was wanting to look, mucho macho. So he winds up, read in the paper about this dual homicide in San Jose, so he, supposedly, this is what the defenses went for. I was just down there one day testifying. The trial went on longer. But this is the way it was explained to me through the investigators, was that he told his girlfriend, oh, I did that. Acting tough, see? So she dropped a fucking dime on him.
Oh my God.
So I went down there, and so I asked him, I said, well, when the trial's over, give me a call, will you? Let me know how it turned out. Don't ever get me for an expert witness, because your fucking case is doomed from the start. Anyhow, a year later or something like that, it was a party in San Francisco, and Lyle Tuttle, my wife was on a jury in San Jose that you testified, and I said, how did that turn out? And he said, the guy got convicted, but his tattoos were all lies. So the praying hands, it's sad to me. It's like, I listen to the blues. The blues make me happy. B.B. King, Albert King, and those guys. But seeing those blue tattoos, they make me feel bad. And for an instant.
Yeah.
I think long enough to say, you poor fuck.
How about the lone wolf design?
Oh, I think that's... we're all lone wolves. We want to think of ourselves in a romantic sense. I mean, tattooing's not an art form, it's a practice. Mm-hmm. And these people are practicing these external decorations for internal feelings. The lone wolf, that's a nice idea tattoo, I think. Mm-hmm. It isn't as popular, but I've done before a goose flying through a full moon. The wild goose. Mm-hmm. Wild goose, lone wolf, same.
Oh, okay.
That's like probably the most popular word after mother of to have tattooed on you is wanderer. Because if you haven't got wanderer, you could add that to your list, because that is a reoccurring tattoo design. I can spell it if I grab a piece of paper, but it's E-R-E-R on the end of it. I know that. How about misspelled names on people? There's you got to be fleet of tongue to get out of some of those. I misspelled Harley twice on this guy when he was the biker, big bad biker or nothing, but I think that's that guy who pulled in there. He's being a gentleman and staying away. He's going to be up here for a day or two, so he's... I don't mind, when he comes back, he comes back. And it was like the same thing, but a silver car, and it's an ATV, something like that, SUV, yeah. So I'd like to buy one of those BMW Minis that they've come out with now, because I love the classic Minis. I had 3 of them. At different times, and I love them, but too fucking many of the big bastards out there now. Yeah. There's some big bastards out there when I was running around and fucking...
Have you seen the smart cars in Europe? Those little 2-seaters? They get like 400 million miles to the gallon. They put out... It's like Mercedes and Swatch, but...
They're put out by Mercedes.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't know, out here I'd worry about being on the road with Cadillacs and trucks. And
in Germany they call it the elk, because there's a test that all automobiles in Germany have to pass, because there's rules and regulations. Yeah, so they call it the elk because it didn't pass the elk test. And the elk test is at so many miles an hour you're supposed to be able to swerve around an elk. So it's... it isn't an elk you're going to swerve around, but there is a certain path. But it is set up for going around an elk. Yeah. It didn't pass the elk test. So in Germany, they call that one the elk. And they also have a motorcycle over there that has a cage that goes over the top.
I've seen mopeds like that in Japan too.
Have you?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's like the big thing now is to get really big mopeds. Like they're like almost the length of like.
That was a moped. Oh, a big motor scooter.
Yeah, a scooter. Yeah,
okay.
It's like that, but it has the whole thing over it, so it's almost like the length of a small car.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. How about Rose of No Man's Land?
Oh, well, that is a, in fact, in that historic and patriotic book, it covers that in there. Let me read it over, make sure I get it right. No, I'm just joking. No, that was, the design was made, well, up until the Crimean War, they never had any type of medical treatment on the battlefields. I mean, you just went out there and you got fucked up, and it was your responsibility. In fact, King Arthur made the boast one time that he had laid in the stables with the rest of the knights. And that means just fucking laying in there, licking your wounds like a dog.
Right.
And I'm sure there was people come out and helped him, but I'm talking about really an organized medical unit until Florence Nightingale. And so they were really the roses of no man's land.
Right.
But it started off in the Crimean War. So that was, and then there was also one that was, I don't think I've ever seen a design that had Florence Nightingale in it. But during World War I, there was a woman, her name was Nurse Cavell, and she was executed by the Huns for being a spy because she didn't have a military uniform on. She had a nurse's uniform, and it probably wasn't the white hat and the white. It probably just had civilian clothes on.
Right.
They scooped her ass up and executed her, and so she became a real heroinist. In fact, so great that on Trafalgar Square in London, there is a statue of Nurse Cavell that I went and seen one time, paid a pilgrimage. I also paid a pilgrimage going to see Jacob Van Dyne, who was this old tattooed man that was a lecturer at Hyde Square in London. But the day I got there, he had fucking laryngitis. He was so old, he had to lean against this pole, and the only thing he could do was, he had a scrapbook. And he would just have it go like this and point to it, and was just giving people, was begging for him. But when I walked through the crowd, I was hotter than a pistol, getting all types of publicity. I mean, nobody ever got rained with the publicity I got. And it wound up that he recognized me. Well, he just lit up like a Christmas tree. You know? That was a buzz. That was one of my merit badges that I got.
The jewels in the crown.
Yeah.
How about the various birds, like swallows, sparrows, bluebirds?
Well, I know that storks bring babies, right? And bats bring black babies. And swallows bring no babies. Let's get some more of those. Would you like a Coke or something?
Actually, I'm alright, thanks though.
I was concerned, and about the only thing I ever read into swallows was that they're directional. They're a perfect piece on a chest because they're directional.
Oh, okay.
And all tattoos should be facing forward or inboard. I mean, they'd look like shit if they was flying out, you know? And it looked like you have saggy tits right off the bat. This is, I don't know.
What are you doing?
I'm washing these chairs.
That's a good way to wash them.
I don't know why. I'm going to put this when I write my Dear Lyle book. Doing it this way. You know, well, I'm going to punch a little bit more in there, but it's still, at least, you did a conscious effort to wash it off.
Well, you can get all around without banging them up.
Exactly,
You know?
also.
Yeah.
But I do that with, well, I don't do it with lettuce anymore, well, head stuff I didn't do that too. I buy that stuff now that's grown in a, what do you call it, hothouses. They do a whole bunch of different little lettuces, and you buy it, and it's organic, comes in the bag, you don't have to wash it, and it's raised without pesticides, and it's artificial light and stuff. You can buy it in Albertsons and stuff. And let that drink a minute, I got a panic piss. I'll be right back. Inscrutable oxidants.
All right, let's see.
So that's how that wall got going. These are just pictures that people sent to me mostly. There's a few of them up there that I liked when I got them. I didn't give a shit what anybody else looks like in them, as long as I look good.
Right.
But the ones they sent me, they look good. Well, salmon, I look a hell of a lot better than salmon in that picture. Then there's one running around here somewhere that Artie's in.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's because I've been doing some scanning. I ran across that one, and that's in front of my shop down there. So it's
young.
Huh?
That's in a good mood. That's a nice photo.
Well, Ed looks younger, I look younger, we all look young.
You all look a little younger, I think.
Well, this was done. When the hell was this done? I don't know. Well, I see there's a banner back there for the Paul Rogers was getting put into the Tattoo Hall of Fame, and Ed had done the poster. Now, if you put down the symbology of bird on side of neck, because Ed's wound up getting that thing. And when he went home, I think his wife says, "What's the matter, you fucking nuts?" I mean, I just like.
Right.
I mean, I could put on a tie and my sleeves and down, and I would fucking hair look civilized. You know, that poor guy with that goes by here with that tattoos on his face. There's gonna be some sick puppies one of these days. The old guys I used to work with would say, well, one of them used to say, I can have, and he was a dresser too. He said, I can have a carat diamond ring on my finger. I can have a $200, and this was this long ago, silk and wool suit. Now you're talking about maybe $5,000.
Yeah.
A $200 silk and wool suit. My old lady can have a fur stole on. I can be driving a Cadillac, and I still look like a fucking bum. So they absolutely, a couple of them told me they would kick my ass if I got tattooed on the hands.
Right.
And so I had a certain amount of rebellion.
You got there under the...
Well, that's kanji for a joke, which is about the closest thing that Japanese can say to good luck, I think. You recognize it?
I can't. No,
Well, I think it's hiragana anyhow. It's not katakana, but I don't... Maybe it's like go Fujiwa. It went out of circulation. Or meant something else, and then that's right there is that Fuklin, or like prosperity in Chinese. I'm sure Japanese have about the same thing, except you see it in a lot of cast brass decor.
Yeah.
It's a Fuklin, or so. But then things get meaning different things. The greatest thing about that was through the years. So I come in, they want to get tattooed, the fucking palms of the hands. Waste of time, generally. Unless they have never done anything, or they're about a week old. But I would just take and pull that ring back, and I'd say, see, that's what happened to the palm of the hand.
Right.
That's what happens to on the top of the hand. It's just thickness. And I've done that a zillion times. And with that same ring, because I wore that ring for about... I wouldn't be lying if I said 40 years. Because I wound up getting that after 1960, about 62, I think. I wore it since about 62. I got it first. I treated a guy, he put a tattoo on. A guy that didn't have any money, got a bad discharge out of the service. He's leaving town. There was a mouse about that tall for $6.50. But he didn't have the money, and he wanted to trade that ring for it.
Oh, yeah?
So a guy named Crow come back and showed it to me. I slipped it on my finger, and it's sort of been there ever since. I mean, it's been off, of course, but I mean, it's... I had it on my finger, Crow came back, and then I just reached over and I shook him out a couple lines of Coke, and I said, here, because I owed him $3.25, 50-50 PC. And I give him his...
Well, how about, I got a few here, like Sailor's Grave, Homeward Bound, Last Sport. Those are like kind of sailors.
Well, sailors, you know, tattoos aren't always necessarily meant for yourself. They're a communication medium. And I think the Sailor's Grave, of course, you know, bikers wear swastikas and shit because it's like the ancients wearing the signs of the enemy. That's why you take heads, sign of the enemy, you've got that, it shows conquest. If you've got wearing a swastika, some biker and they're retarded looking view of things, wear a swastika, that's like wearing the sign of the enemy, so you have power over the enemy. That's sort of how I see that. What did you ask me about?
Oh, because so that's like the Sailor's Grave.
Oh, the Sailor's Grave. Well, I think it's like wearing maybe the sign of the enemy or showing defiance or things, but then they would get hold tight tattooed on their till they would remind them to hold tight in the rigging. Have you ever been up in the rigging of a ship? You're gonna fucking hang on. In fact, you might hang on to the point you couldn't release it. I had a 30, well, I guess it was 42 altogether, foot Chinese junk. And even that little boat, I went up one day in a bosun's chair and to replace this light that was up on top, and goddamn, I got up there, and that boat looked like it was about that long and about that wide. And then and this was at the dock. And I could imagine, and I've been up in the mast of the Balclutha, down at Fisherman's Wharf, and the same thing, that boat's about that big. And how them guys got up there in the goddamn storms, and them fucking sails were frozen.
Yeah.
You know, and so they needed a pig and a chicken. They needed hold tight. They needed Sailor's Grave, and if I get the fuck off of this boat, you kiss my ass. I never get on another one. So that's it's that thing. It's bolstering yourself. It's communicating to others. Designs like that.
How about then, so Shellback? That one was...
Well, that was that you went across the international date line. In fact, maybe a Shellback went across the international date line, I believe, and then but the big one is going across the equator. I mean, those poor bastards suffered.
Yeah.
The high school hazing initiation that you get on Friday, the first day of thing, was the last one they ever held in my high school. There was a couple of us that they wanted to get, and they got good. I had linoleum paste in my hair. I was fucked up when I got home. It took kerosene to get it out of my hair, and my mom was, I don't think she didn't, you know, I kept saying, Mom, I deserved it, because I was a little shit, you know. And my mom didn't go complain to the high school, but there was a couple of their moms that did, and that was the last year that they had free reign in the edge. I was painted with aluminum paint, too. That I had in my pores for a few weeks.
Oh, God.
You know, but they would just pay some little shits back. Then they cancel it. We couldn't pay the next little shits back. But what kind of fun is that?
How about the Love Thy Neighbor tattoo?
God, I love thy neighbor. The only time I've ever seen a Love Thy Neighbor tattoo had brass knuckles and a pistol and a blackjack.
Yeah.
Well, that's just some fucking hillbilly redneck fucking design. You know, that falls in the same category as rebel flags and stuff. That's just a design born out of ignorance. But I mean, it's that. But that's how I see it.
Yeah. Well, no, that's
Personally.
why we're asking you, because
Okay.
you've been around. I want your opinion.
But I've never put the design on. That was the design after my heyday.
I think that one, well, I got a question here, because all this stuff, especially with all the new, the resurgence, I guess you say, I'd say probably maybe in California, it seems like, because actually I started getting tattooed in 1991, and it wasn't even everyone was into the tribal and the biomech, and then it seems like mid-90s people started, hey, Sailor Jerry became a catchphrase, that old school, and people started talking about it. But it's all, and then Ed put out those books.
Now is that SCOOL or is this?
But how do you see that? Because you're getting a lot of these tattoos by kids that have never been in the service or have never,
It's like the guy who's going to jail. That wasn't
it's of a different era. I mean, how does that strike you as odd, or is it neat to you, or?
Well, they did a little documentary film about me in 1970. But coincidentally, the name of it was Tattoo 70 also. And how it ended is that one day a friend of mine was tattooing a Black Panther, and he's putting a Black Panther on his shoulder. Mm-hmm. And I was tattooing a rebel flag on a redneck, but these two guys were talking. Well, they had the tattoo to talk about, and I've heard that son of a bitch 1,000 times now. I said it that day, but I can't think of it right now. But so I guess that my tattoo shop here is the only neutral ground left. That's how I ended it.
Yeah.
And that Love Thy Neighbor is that stuff is just spawned by the printed media. There's T-shirts like that.
Right.
I mean, there's people come in, and one night a guy come in and he wanted to have the Oakland Raiders fucking logo tattooed on arm. We couldn't find it, so he says, "Well, can you do a star? I like the Dallas Cowboys too." So there you go. I mean, they don't know. There's no corpus menace involved in a lot of this repetitious stuff, but they see it and they think it's tough, and they wind up getting it. But that Love Thy Neighbor, or something about 45 Justice, or there's a sign on my chuck wagon out there. You haven't been out in the back, but we'll have to take a walk out there in a little while. We ought to take and hide your vehicle till poor Trace will be at 1 and come back. Well, what time did you get here? 1 o'clock?
1, yeah.
You said you were going to be here by 1. So you've been a 2.5 hours. So he's not fucking shy by any means.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's got a lot of for that. I'm not worried about it. I'm just making an observation. Because I did see him come out of there. But it's the media. It's like they get it rubbed out of their nose in their face, and then they start and they think it's great. So that's how I see Love Thy Neighbor. I don't think it has a fucking thing to do with a neighbor or being hostile towards the neighbor. It's probably you'd be surprised who's wearing Harley Davidson or their fucking duds nowadays. And I'm talking about what I was tattooing.
Right.
A guy would come in on Friday evening and take his suit off and get fucking Harley Davidson, which I never liked doing. Number one reason, it had too fucking many letters in it.
These lines so close together.
And all that shit. So, and I didn't want bikers in my shop because they alienate the general public, and there's a lot more general public than there is 1%.
Right.
So I'll deal with the 99%, thank you. So I don't put their fucking designs on the wall. And I wouldn't do any club designs for a couple different reasons. I wouldn't want to do the Masonic Lodge either, because the fuckers there's 50 of them getting it, so they're going to want to do a discount. And then I did 22 Black Panthers in a row one night. And the first one looked like a Black Panther. The second one was his cousin. The third one was these distant cubs, and the last one looked like a fucking salamander. You talk about getting flip on something. I mean, it's just, and you can only keep your 22 right in a row.
Oh, God.
You know, I tattooed the Allman Brothers one night, and I forget how many. Well, I wound up putting it on myself. Because after all those, I said, God damn it, I'm getting one, because I at least got to be an honorary Allman Brother. Right here, the fuck it is. But that was a long time ago. Let's see right here.
Yeah.
So I did that one upside down. But I was well versed. I did it originally, the design originally, and then I went and put maybe 20 of them on. But I got a kick out. And then that night I didn't smoke, and the room, Jesus Christ, they all had blowing a fag. One in each hand, you know, this hotel room. And I finally said, God damn it, I can't stand this fucking smoke noise. That Dwayne went off, all right, you sons of bitches, you put out your cigarettes. He goes down to the end of the room, he opens the fucking drapes up, and it was a Holiday Inn, and there was a thing that overlooked the pool. He opened that fucking door up, he had them all standing there going. So, we're the closest thing to a fucking witch doctor they'll ever get. If I was gonna, that's me a good, well, I know what, if I was gonna write a book, which I'm not, because I know fucking well there's no content, but they, you know, that would, it'd be called My Mother's Gonna Shit. And everybody that walks in the tattoo shop and sits down in your chair will tell you, one way or another, implied or not implied, that their mother is going to shit. But mine didn't. You know, and I'd call the name of it, My Mother's Gonna Shit, but I would immediately, in the preface, write that, hey, I want you people to know that my mother didn't, and so take notice.
You're also smart enough to get a mom heart first, you know?
Well, you know, I wasn't, you know, my mom didn't raise no dummies. I don't know. I would just get glimpses. But don't worry about it. Next one. No, he is not there. No, if he was out of there, I'd holler at him, come in.
How about anchors?
Oh, but that's just almost so obvious I'd put a line to it on your list. But just coincidentally, my Samoan chief's name, because they took me up in front of Parliament and read, so I'm a bona fide chief in Western Samoa. I own property. I'm a citizen of Western Samoa. And you got to be a citizen, own land, so I could go there and buy land and live, which I'm not going to do it. But, no, I mean, island life is not good for you. Sailor Jerry's brain shriveled up to about the size of a pea. There's no input on it. Right. You know, so you lose it. I'm worried about Ed. And you can tell him anything I say, because I would.
I'll tell him. You know,
because I brought it to him.
That's fucking great.
Because for a long time, well, he was new boy in the block, so. But after he realized that it's a big world out there, he realized I wasn't the bad ogre that he thought. Plus, he was the world's greatest tattoo artist at that time. Jesus, he was putting on some fucking work that should have been in the Louvre. You're not going to get in the Louvre tattooing. I mean, but he had that youthful enthusiasm. Now he's a worn-out old whore, you know, and you just can't look him like it's your first time no more. I mean, what the hell was talking about that for? But we was talking about it. Oh, the anchor. So my Samoan name is Taula I Malolo, and a Taula is a anchor. And a malolo is a flying fish. So it's an anchor, like on a boat, is a taula, or a safe anchorage, like a bay or something. That's a taula also. And Peter Mavia, who was a wrestler, you remember Peter Mavia? High Chief Peter Mavia with a tattoo. He was a professional wrestler 25 years or so ago.
I'm 30, Lyle.
You don't remember 5 years old? Jesus,
I know.
what the hell's wrong with you? You're only 30.
I was only, the
30,
Godzilla,
Don't say, I'd get Mr. Lucky tattooed on your fucking arm if I was you. 30? Mr. Lucky. Well, anyhow, that Ta'ula business. So Peter Mavia, I was the vice president of the Samoan Chiefs Council of America, and he was the president. And he used to, of course, he was raised in New Zealand, so he had Samoan culture but with humor. So he used to call me Ta'ula Papa, and a Papa is all consuming. And so I was Ta'ula Papa, the real safe anchorage. Now I think he just kept forgetting fucking Malolo. But which you do, you just, I mean, here I'm a goddamn an Anglo sitting here and with a Samoan name, and I've been made a chief in Samoa. That's like, I used to call Cliff Raven, those guys, putting Oriental tattoos on white guys. You're putting a gook suit on a white guy. What the fuck? I mean, it's like, hello. The word, you know where the word gook comes from? The slang word.
It's from World War II, right?
No. Well, yeah, it could have been World War II, but when I was in Korea, the people that live in Korea, there's the Han River, and it goes right by Seoul. They're Hangooks. Han for river, and gook means people. The people of the Han River. So they whacked off Han and made a, derogatory in a way. When they call you in Samoa, if they call you a Palangi, that word comes from Papa Palangi, which means the heavens have broke. And when the Danes discovered Samoa, so here they come sliding in a big old fucking boat with white sails and blonde hair, it must have blew off the goddamn beach. So they said, Papa Palangi, the heavens have broke. That's not like howling.
Right.
But that's, so I like word groups, Or we bailed these prostitutes out of jail one time over in Incheon, Korea. And somebody said, you got tossed in the poji. Well, poji means pussy. Poji over here means like jail. And I think it was Poji and Puji, but it was so close. They took offense to it. Next word.
Nautical stars or compasses.
I think I went over that, but they're calling nautical stars now. Nautical stars, but they're 5-pointed stars. So, like I said, I never heard of north, south, east, west, and whatever it is. So I think sometimes things get misinterpreted. And there's an interview on here with me. Hi, how you doing? On the internet, and it's where I'm bum rapping the internet about turning it into a bowl of oatmeal, and which is happening. Turning the surface of the world into a bowl of oatmeal because all this cross bucket information and all that stuff. But it's the same way in reading like tattoo machines, which I'm a quasi-expert on, is and especially historical stuff of identifying that's a hoop-de-doo and this is a, people make mistakes on there. I mean, blatant mistakes. And people I know who's selling them, and I usually send them an email, and I started off with, I don't want to be a wise guy, but, you're just making a bad mistake in the description. All you're doing is programming a bunch of other idiots to make the same mistake.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could care less if people called their tattoo machines a gun in the modern vernacular, but it pisses me off in the old days because some guy would just get out of San Quentin and come down on the Greyhound bus and land right next door to my shop and come in and wanted to buy a gun.
Right.
You know, well, I would have sold him one that shot bullets quicker than I would have sold him a tattoo machine because I had that brick wall instilled in me. And I just got brutally interrupted somewhere along the line. But my dad was that contractor. He was doing this school over here I was telling you about, and I didn't finish the story. And the guy that was the glazer on the job, or putting in all the windows in the place, was a contractor from Ukiah, and his name happened to be Eddie. And I said, why, there's a tattoo artist in San Francisco named Pop Eddie. He says, that's my brother, my aunt. It was just like the golden arches opened up. But boy, I was hitting a brick wall. I mean, I couldn't buy a tattoo machine. You couldn't beg, borrow, or steal. I used to hang around tattoo shops, kissing ass, running errands, sweeping it out, doing anything that would, you know, to ingratiate myself. And there was still a brick wall there. They might meet you for breakfast. They might go out and have a sandwich at night after work or a drink or something. But sell you a tattoo machine, get lost, sucker. That's when it had charm.
Well, it seems like now everybody has an apprentice just so they don't have to pay the floor help, you know? Like, I mean, tattooers that have been tattooing, like, you know, 5 years, they've already apprenticed people, and I'm like...
I've said a few times, I think it more than I say it, but there's been a couple people I sort of had a disdain for that were just fucking morons. Would come up and say, this is my apprentice. I said, I didn't know you could wipe your ass. And say it with a smile and laugh, and they fucking run off and will repeat the story.
We just got Lyle Tuttle made fun of us. we're legitimate now.
Yeah, we're legitimate, right.
You just validated his existence.
I know. The one I hate is when they come up and talk to you, and you can't remember everybody you talk to.
Right, of course.
But I never like to stiff anybody, you know, and so they wind up, and you'll talk to them for about 10 minutes, like you know them, and fucking then they wind up saying to you, well, we've never met before. I like to fucking drop kick them right off the ball at that point, because they come up talking to you, like, you know. Make a note, that crackling noise was
Another tequila and grapefruit?
exploring a glacier. Now, you sure? You better have a Coke.
You know what, yeah, actually, I would...
Are you all right?
I'd actually like a Coke, please.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm going to put it in a glass with ice because I think it's barbaric out of the can. It's also the chiropractor's best friend, they say. Because you got to tip your neck back so far when you bring it up. You girls get your Coronas out in the backyard? For that poor bastard. And there was a guy, and I can't think of the fucking name now, who was the Grateful Dead.
Jerry Garcia.
His claim to fame was fucking dosing people. Because you can get a can of Coke that's unopened. But you just drop acid on the side and let the moisture take it around. And he got the sheriff of some county down in Phoenix or somewhere. He got the fucking sheriff and 6 of his deputies one night. You know, and I'm loaded to the tits.
Oh, that's fucking great.
But boy, LSD. I loved LSD. I wouldn't. It was funny though. If you was on a roll with it, you didn't mind taking it, but if you didn't take it for a while, it's scary. I mean, you're entering into a vortex that, well, I never had a bad trip, but I know of people that have. But I had to knock a friend of mine out one night who was hanging onto it. It was about 15 below zero, and he was hanging onto a pine tree. And my girlfriend and myself had taken some orange sunshine acid, and he had taken this peyote that he got. But he had also read Don Quixote's trip of the peyote god. And every time he let loose this pine tree out there, he's barefooted, got a pair of shorts on, and 15 below zero hanging onto a tree. I had the whole inside of my leg tattooed, so I'm dragging this fucking leg across this ice out there. Oh, it was terrible. The second trip I went out there, I just fucking wound up and punched that son of a bitch right to the feet of the judge, knocked his ass out, and drug him in the house with the help of his girlfriend and my girlfriend. Because I was really laid up with the whole inside of my leg, and the goddamn thing was all scabbed, and I don't know, probably about 4 days old. And back in the old days, the one thing that you noticed when you started doing, it was all of this across here. Oh, I know. This friend of mine that knocked my dog out I was telling you about, he did that tattoo in there. He was up there, and I said, come on, you want a tattoo? Well, go ahead. And so he had just hamburgerized that area. That was the one that was so fucking sore. But I still got some good acid, though, off to the side. And about once a year, I give some, no, hell, it's been longer than that, but to somebody. Would you elope? What'd you do? Elope with one of those tattooed ladies down there? Yeah, well, come on down. Sure. Well, we're still sitting there shooting the breeze, but come on down. Okay, bye.
We got a cell phone ankle holder.
Yeah. That's what happens when you can sew when you're handy.
Yeah.
Well, originally I made the thing to be like this. Pain in the ass. Because to sit out in a car with bucket seats and all that shit, it's poking you. One night I was talking on the phone, and I had set it between my legs. And then somebody said, I'm getting sleepy, I gotta drive, so I got out of the goddamn rig, and it's luckily I knew the road, or I would have never found it again. And I've had this thing so long now, it's like a good luck charm. I lost it in flying out of fucking Moline, Illinois this year, and I couldn't get to goddamn, I called the airlines and everything else, said somebody else over the airlines, no satisfaction, so I kept calling it. By God, a woman answered. And I says, are you answering the telephone that's in a holster? And a leg strap? And she said, yeah, why, yes. And I said, well, that's my phone. I lost the damn thing in the Midwest somewhere. And so she worked for United Airlines, and it was in the lost and found department that they couldn't find when there was people was trying to get in touch with them. I'm going to tell him to take that dog. And, hey, you know that dog, what you can do is get a rope or something, tie it up out here. I don't want it too far back. Here's the back. George? Yeah, he's not too far. But if you get too out, we'll do something for it. All right. Okay, next question. Or you're through with those?
I'm pretty much good on those. I had a question though about when I transcribe this. Like Ed, I've interviewed him a couple times, and he likes to see the actual transcription before it runs.
Yeah.
Making sure he sounds really smart, because he's like, do you want...
Well, he's out of academia.
Right. I mean, you tell me how you want to do it. I mean, I've interviewed people that are like, I don't give a shit, whatever. And,
I don't think that you need to get really back in touch with me too bad. Just make me sound like a gentleman, then if I don't, straighten it up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. But I'm going to keep you funny, though. Funny's good,
Well, funny is
Take
good
away
because
the
it is all humorous. I mean, people
Yeah.
that get too goddamn. Did you get tattooed while you were gone?
No.
You were downtown looking tough, huh?
No, it got hot down there. It's like a little over 80 out there, so I was like, fuck that, I'm going to shorts.
It was 20-some degrees hotter than that a few days ago. Well, 80's not bad at all, 85. So did you go to all the shops?
No, I hit the two on the main drag, Accent, which I'd met when
The cutest girls
Sacramento.
are down by the airport.
we had lunch down there.
Because I had a party here one night after Nationals Convention over in Reno. Had about 300 people here. And it was here. I didn't get rid of the last of them until Friday evening. They would stay at motels. They were invited to come in anytime, 24 hours a day. Because I bought 12 dozen eggs and had all kind of bacon and all kind of food in the refrigerator. So you just come in and roll your own. The only thing you want to do is you clean the kitchen up. And so they was out there, and then had 2-gallon jars full of buds and about every goddamn paper that was ever made laying all over the table. So they was out there rolling joints. And
Nice.
a few of them had, had to go to respiration therapists after the fucking party was over because you can smoke too much of this shit. You want a cherry?
No thanks.
Don't deal in cherries, huh?
Got the gum.
Got to go. Is it Nicorette?
Nope, didn't see.
There was a guy here last weekend for a party, and the son of a bitch chewed Nicorette chewing gum, and I happen to love Nicorette chewing gum.
Isn't that the shit for smoking cigarettes?
Nasty paper and shit. Yeah, I love it, and so did he. So I chewed a couple, but then it's got nicotine, Sarah Gobble, the chemical names. Who knows if that's worth the shit for you? So
Yeah. It's all a gamble.
Just trade one for the other.
Saliva, George Carlin says, will cause stomach cancer if taken in small amounts over long periods of time.